Welcome to the first tutorial of the do-it-yourself marketing system from MLMforshypeople.com. On this first video, I will be showing you how to set up your free Weebly account, which is where you will create your website. We will be selecting and finding out if there is a good website name or URL that you can use for this website, and once we've created it, we will add a blog page to the website. Finally, after doing all of that, we will publish the website so that it becomes live and visible on the internet. First, before we even get started, please go to www.weebly.com and watch this video here. This video will give you a very quick explanation of how Weebly works, how it is that millions of people use Weebly to create their own websites that they can control and modify at their own leisure without having to pay anybody to do that. And it's so easy to use that even little kids could be taught how to create their own website using this platform. Alright, to begin, in order to create a free Weebly website, all you have to do is fill out the form here with your name. I'm going to use John Smith as an example, an email, which in this case is fake for me, but use real email where they can contact you, mail.com, and some password. Once you've done all that, all you have to do is press this sign up it's free button, and you should get to the next window. As soon as Weebly accepts that information, you now have a free Weebly account. Make sure you remember what your login email was and also your password. The first screen that pops up will ask you for the title of your website. For now, we will be creating a website using your own name, and it will be informational, so we're going to let people know who we are. So let's make it a personal website. This type of website here, this pull down menu that I just clicked and selected personal on, doesn't really affect the website and how it functions. It just gives you a way to organize yourself later on when you have more than one website to run. Okay, once we've picked a title for our website, in this case our name, and selected it as personal, we press the continue button, and up pops the choose your website domain. What is a website domain? A website domain is the address that you type here in the search window of your browser to find any particular website. Like, for example, you would type in www.amazon.com here to get to Amazon. So we need to create a unique name for your website where people can find you. In this case, let's try John Smith. Now if you notice, this red X popped up, which indicates that somebody else has already used what's called a subdomain of Weebly.com. In the free account, all you get to do is create a subdomain of Weebly. In this case, I tried johnsmith.weebly.com. It's not a standalone one because you're using the Weebly.com domain as the placeholder for your website. If you wanted it to be standalone, you would create your own domain. But first, let's resolve this problem. Let's try Mr. John Smith. And there we go. Mr. John Smith is available as a subdomain of Weebly.com. So we could use that as our unique URL where people can find us. The other option is to try and make a .com with Mr. John Smith as the name for that URL. Mr. John Smith, unfortunately, is taken, as you can see. let's try Smith with an E. And we see that it is available. Right now, since you're getting started, I would highly recommend that if you find your name is available, if it's Alice Cooper or George Way, if that name happens to be available as a .com, I would strongly recommend you register that name so that nobody else can get it ahead of you. To register a domain name, all you have to do is pay Weebly a very small fee to register the domain under your ownership. And what that means is that for that fee, you are allowed to use that particular URL for a period of 1, 2, or unlimited number of years as you pay for the registration every year. It's a small fee, but I think it's well worth it. I strongly recommend you do that. But for now, let's stick to the subdomain mrjohnsmith.weebly.com as the URL for our website. Simply press continue after you've clicked the little button here, and you should see pop up your website. Now I'll explain just very briefly. Up here above this orange line is the editor part of Weebly.com. This is what you'll be using, these various things called elements, design, pages, editors, and settings. All these different tabs have different features, different widgets that you can add to your website and make it look better and more personalized. Right now this is the default. It shows up with your name, which is the name of the website you put in the beginning. As you can see, we can modify that if we so choose, and it's created a home page for you already. This tab is your navigation bar, which will be here for all your future pages to show up. So we've created our website. Right now it's very generic, very blank. We selected a URL, which in our case happens to be a subdomain, and it is johnsmith.weebly.com, mrjohnsmith.weebly.com. Now let's do our last goal, which is to add a blog to our website. And in order to do that, we want to go over here to the Pages tab, click on it once, and you want to add a blog. These two buttons here will add a blog or add a page to your website. Right now we just have this single page called Home. So let's click on Add Blog. And you can see that the blog showed up under this list here, and the page name happens to be Blog, which is something you can change as well. I'd like to just call it My Blog, since this is a personal website where I can blog about whatever I feel like. And later on we'll be using your blog to generate traffic, but for now we just want to build the basic structure, and we've got it. We've got a home page and a blog page, and that's it. So let's go down here to Save Settings, and now you see that My Blog showed up on the navigation bar. This is a blog. It's blank. There's nothing there. There's some automatic default sections here for you to write a short description of the author. The archives will self-fill, so that means as you add new posts, this will start to fill up by itself. There's some categories that you can add as well, and there's an RSS feed button, which means people who subscribe to your website, to your blog in particular, will be notified automatically if they decide to do so by pressing this button. Okay, I digress. So we've achieved our goals for this video. We've created a free account. We have created a custom URL or address for our website, and now our website consists of a home page. If I click over here, which is blank except for this picture, and a blog, which is also blank with this picture, and is ready to accept new posts. Now once you start editing your web page and start adding features and adding text, when you're done doing that, what you want to do in order to make it show up on the internet is just press this button, the publish button, and it will take, well, it'll ask you for your domain name. Okay, so this is kind of annoying at first, but don't worry, you'll get used to it. Just press continue, and by pressing the publish button, you will now have published your website to the internet. And here you can see is your URL, http://mrjohnsmith.weebly.com. That's pretty long, right? Well, like I said, don't worry about it for now. We're just learning how to use this tool, Weebly.com, to create our website and to get us started on the do-it-yourself marketing system. So let's just click out of here. We now can close the editor because we're done editing. And you can see here, this is a list of my sites. I had a previous site called Untitled. But in this case, this is what we just created, John Smith, which is our website. Here's the URL, and here's our edit and stats button. We'll go into that later on in a different tutorial, but for now, you have a website called mrjohnsmith.weebly.com. Let's go ahead and take a look. Click over here and type in mrjohnsmith.weebly.com. That's our URL, and there it is on the internet. People can see it right now. If they were looking for Mr. John Smith and happened to find our website, they would find a blank home page, which is what everybody sees when they type in the original URL, or if they click my blog, now it switches over to a /myblog.html. See how easy that is? Using Weebly as your web design tool is going to be really exciting because it's so easy to do and so straightforward. You're going to love it. Alright, we'll learn about more of the features in our next tutorial. In the meantime, I want you to go ahead, log back into Weebly, create another website, and this, whether you call it Untitled or whatever, create another website by adding it here. Just add a site and start playing with some of these elements. Start exploring. Grab a picture and drag it down. Oh, how cool! Do all sorts of things. Look at designs. Try and play with the editor and look at stuff. Don't worry about breaking anything. If you break something, we can fix it. Alright? It's not that hard. We haven't gone too far into it to really worry about that. Alright. And you guys, so you guys take care. This is Louis Esparza at MLMforshypeople.com, and I will see you on the next tutorial.